watching how they want to teach us online. Let me go back. I may be in the back a little bit. Yes, as a class. Okay, this is not letting me go where I wanted to go. Let me see if I can just leave here. There are some questions that they ask in this course. Close it out and start again. I'm going into QuickBooks Certified User. Sharing my screen. Hear the sound. It's taking a little time for this to come up. The whole QuickBooks Certified view. All right, so here's the first video.
Hi, I'm Marie and welcome to LearnKey's QuickBooks Online course. QuickBooks Online is a cloud-based accounting software. Your instructor, Natasha Nelson, will teach you the concepts you need to know to pass the exam and use QuickBooks Online in the real world. In this first domain, she will show you some of the features the online version offers, how to assign roles, and how to manage your company's settings. Let's get started.
The purpose of this course is to prepare you to take and pass the Intuit QuickBooks Online certification exam. We will cover all of the current exam topics through the 5 exam domains. These domains include QuickBooks Online Administration, Sales and Money In, Vendors and Money Out, Bank Accounts, Transaction Rules and Receipts, and Basic Reports and Views. You are also provided with pre- and post-test assessments for each domain to gauge your understanding of the concepts being taught. You will also have access to practice labs and a project workbook that allows you to practice what you are learning actively. Take full advantage of these tools as you prepare for the exam. As we go through this course, we will use a fictitious business called Diamond Shores Construction. The purpose of using a business is to create scenarios similar to real-life situations you may encounter as you use QuickBooks Online outside of the classroom. QuickBooks Online offers 5 plans: Simple Start, Essentials, Plus, Advanced, and Self-Employed. How do you know which plan is best suited for your company? You should consider a couple of factors when deciding on a plan. The first thing is how many users you will have working within your account. Simple Start and Self-Employed provide 1 seat, meaning it is a single user plan. These plans are ideal for freelancers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses that only sell services. The Plus plan includes 5 users. If your business sells both services and products, this is an ideal plan for you. The Advanced plan includes 25 user seats, which is ideal for a larger company that needs to provide multiple users access. The second thing that should be considered is the features offered by each plan. I'm on the plans and pricing page on the QuickBooks website, and here we can see the list of features each plan includes. Notice that the first 10 features are consistent between the plans, self-employed being the exception. Of course, you get additional features with each plan at an additional cost. I will focus on the Plus plan as this is the plan we will be working with in this course. We can track income and expenses and capture and organize receipts. QuickBooks will automatically match the receipts we upload with matching transactions. We can invoice customers, accept payments, manage cash flows, track sales, and assign vendors that have been paid more than $600 during the year as 1099 contractors so that they can be sent 1099 tax forms. Let's look at the Plus plan's added features in bold. We've already talked about the 5 users, but we can also manage and pay bills, allowing us to schedule and make payments online from QuickBooks. We can track billable time for our employees and even vendors. We can track project profitability. This feature is excellent for many projects within your company because you can see all of them in one place. We are also able to track our inventory. We receive a few awesome benefits from the inventory feature because we are notified when our inventory is getting low. We can export our inventory list and sync it with third parties like Amazon and Etsy. Many of the concepts mentioned will be covered in greater detail throughout this course. You need to be familiar with each plan to select a plan that covers all of your business's needs. These are the individual plan benefits, but let's talk about the benefits of QuickBooks Online as a whole. QuickBooks Online is cloud-based software, meaning it can be accessed from anywhere with an internet connection. This provides added benefit to companies that have off-site employees or an accountant, as they can access the account remotely. Cloud-based software also eliminates the need to install software on your computer. We talked about the number of users that were available with each plan. I want to talk more about what a user is exactly and why the number of users is important. The QuickBooks Software License Agreement spells out what an authorized user is. Authorized users mean any and all individuals you designate or authorize to access and/or modify your software data on your behalf. If your plan has 5 users, only 5 individuals can access and modify the data. And yes, this includes your company's accountant. Allowing more than 5 users access breaches the licensing agreement you accepted when you initially started up your entity in QuickBooks, which can result in legal repercussions. Be sure to have a license seat for every user accessing your account. QuickBooks provides a way to migrate, or in simpler terms, move your data from the desktop version of QuickBooks to QuickBooks Online. Not everyone will need to migrate from the desktop version, but you'll want to know how to do it. Migrating your data will save you a lot of time as you will not have to recreate the data in your new account manually. I will walk you through how you can migrate your data from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online. I will select the settings icon. It looks like a gear. And then select Import Desktop Data. Select Online Migration Tool, and then Get Started. Along the top of the screen, I will select My Files. I'll select Temporary Files. To upload the file, select Upload Files and browse for your file. I have already uploaded my file, so I will exit out and select Refresh. You should know that when you migrate your desktop information to the online version, the desktop information is automatically updated to the newest version. Let's discuss information that will not migrate. Companies that use multi-currency functions will not be able to migrate their data to QuickBooks Online. There just isn't a way to copy it at this point. Also, files with more than 350,000 transaction line items cannot be migrated, along with memorized transactions and reports. Any files that have not migrated will need to be manually added. Be sure to reconcile the accounts once the migration is complete. We can see what we imported. I'll select it and then select Continue. I will enter my password to sign in. I'll select OK. I'll select Get Started. Now we can decide if we want to export all of the data or specific data. I'll ensure all data is selected and then select Continue. We already have an account, so I will select Yes, Sign Me In, and then Continue. I'll sign into my account. The file I used to demonstrate with does not belong to our Diamond Shores company, so I will not complete this migration. If I were to complete the migration, I would select Export. The data would import, and when it was finished, we would receive an email that it was complete. I want to discuss reconciling the transfer to ensure all data has been transferred correctly. You will want to run a profit and loss report and a balance sheet report for both your desktop and online accounts. Make sure to use accrual accounting for the reconciliation process. Compare both balance sheets and profit and loss reports against each other. If both reports match, all data has been successfully migrated. Any missing data will need to be manually added to the account. Let's talk a little bit more about the initial startup and setup. As the company admin, you can assign roles to your users. I'm going to open Settings, and under Your Company, I'll select Manage Users. I will select Add User so that we can see the user roles that we can assign. Standard users and company admin roles count towards the user limit. Remember that our Plus account can have up to 5 users. Standard users can enter invoices, sales, and expenses. They can work with customers and vendor lists, manage subscriptions, update company info, and enter timesheet data. The company admin role is what we are functioning under right now. We have complete access to see and do everything within the account. This role can be assigned to more than one user, but chances are not everyone will need complete access, nor will you want to give them complete access. Reports only, time tracking only, and take payments only users do not count towards your user limit. Reports-only users can see reports that do not have payroll or contact information. Time-tracking-only users allows employees to track their hours on a timesheet. Take payments-only users can take payments with the QuickBooks Go payment app, but won't have access to additional information. Let's look at how to add a new user. I'll select Reports Only and then Next. Here we can add the user's name and email address and then select Save and Send to send them an invite. I have already invited a Reports Only user, so I will exit out and open the Reports Only account so that we can see what it looks like. Notice that in this role, our options are limited as this role only provides access to reports. For the exam, you'll want to know each type of role and whether they count as a user.
Now, That is the first video that they have for the QuickBooks Online. Now, that book that she has, that's the one I sent you last week. Everybody have that copy of that book? So let's go to the copy of that book. I sent it to you on your email. But even if you don't have the QuickBooks, open the book itself, and that is called Learn Key. I saw Kaylee with it already open, but all of us need to have the Learn Key book open. So let's make sure we have that book open from Geometric. Now, I don't know why it's right here. Let me go ahead and resume this. So the book I sent you last week goes with this software that you're watching. Everybody sees that? Yes? Yes. You can bring that forward. Let me see. I don't know what you have in your hand.
That's the one.
Right, yes. This is the one. The QuickBooks Online Project Workbook. So when you go into this workbook, you see best practices, you see skills assessment, QuickBooks Online 2020 video. Oh, you already fill it in. Yeah, you did some. So here it talks about the features, benefits, and license agreement. Okay, you started filling this in already. Then you did a migration. That's a video she just did, migration to QuickBooks Online. Default user role. And then we go to domain 1. So where we want to start today is where we have the features, benefits, yes, and licensing, where you did on your own. Yes. Everybody has that? Everybody have it, whether you printed it or you have it on your computer. So let's look at what they're calling the features.
Hi, I'm Marie.
I'm not going to play the video again. So we're going to look at what they call the features of this textbook. When she talked about the features, and mine on this computer, maybe I'm going to borrow your copy until, wait a minute, I'm looking to see. Okay, I don't want all of this on my desktop. Give me a minute, everyone. See if I can see. Maybe I put it in here. It's not in the one with Tad, but I saw it somewhere this morning. Excellent. If I go through this one, desktop, let me do QuickBooks Online. Maybe Learn Key. So this is the one that you should have loaded. It would start something like this. QuickBooks Online Introduction. Everybody found this book? All right, best practices using Learn Key online training. Using this workbook. Then it tells you about the exam objectives, skills assessment, etc. So I'm going to go into where we call domain 1. This is the features and benefits. So let me have again. Katie, go ahead and read on the features, benefits, and license agreement for me.
It is important to section of 1 that covers all of the businesses needs. It is also essential to ensure that only the designated plan can access and modify the data. Upon completing this project, you will better understand the features, benefits, and QuickBooks Online.
All right. Now, let's look at the first question that they asked us. What is one factor that you should consider when you're going to buy QuickBooks Online? What is something you should think about? Authorized users. What else? You're going to buy a software. What should you think about? Cost is there. So you're going to buy software.
Yeah, from whatever. It's like in an iCloud.
Okay, if it can be stored in iCloud,
Yeah,
if it can
and
be
I want to check something.
right, if it can be stored in iCloud, all
Yeah.
right.
What can you get out of it?
What can you get out of it? Exactly. So it's just a car. If you're going to buy a BMW, that's what my sons and my ex-husband like, right? So I can know a little bit about the BMW. If you're going to buy a BMW, would you buy a 1996 version? Would you buy a 2026 version? Everybody, you're going to buy the newer version because it has all the newest features, right? But guess what my son likes? And he's 20. He likes the 1996 version, the one from when he was born. So everybody, when you're going to buy something, you have to look at what? How many people are going to use it for software? Is it going to meet my needs? What's the cost? I use this program before they tell me to switch to something else. Because there's sometimes when you buy softwares, they tell you, hey, you can use this for a year. Next year, they get rid of it. Which one is the most common one that they use? Everybody understand where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Because they did that with QuickBooks. They got rid of desktop. So everybody had to move from desktop to QuickBooks Online. They did that and they called that the migration process. That's what we was talking about in the video. So QuickBooks Desktop is still in use, but it's only in use in mainly foreign countries. So if you go to Jamaica, Haiti, Guatemala, any country outside of America, they may be using desktop. Why? Because QuickBooks Online cannot accept foreign currency, only US currency. So that is the reason they're talking to you about the migration. All right. So which two QuickBooks Online plans are ideal for freelancers? Everybody know who a freelancer is? Who's a freelancer? People who work at home. So a freelancer, when I was in my country, we call the self-employed people freelancers. So the freelancers are people who work on their own, self-employed. Now, entrepreneurs and small business, what software is best for them? They have 5 plans. Did you remember the 5 plans they talk about?
I think one is gonna
Huh?
work.
Smart business, simple start. I'm hearing smart business, simple start, self-employed. No, not advanced and essential. Now, Simple Start and self-employed are the two. Why?
Oh, I thought you were talking about all of them. Sorry.
No, they were asking which two QuickBook plans are ideal. Not that the others can't use it, but the ideal ones are Simple Start and self-employed. Everyone, make sure you know these for the exam. Make sure you know these parts. These are coming on the exam. Right? Now, how many users see it? The next question, does the advanced user have? 25. Questions? This is the one that the students use to pass the exam. So how many seats? 25. Make sure we know that. Now, let's go to the next one. Which QuickBook Online plan include 5 users? Us? Okay. Very good. Now, let's talk about benefits of QuickBooks Online. Some of you talk about it. You talk about the first one. Cloud-based.
Yeah.
And you can access it anywhere. So it's cloud-based and you can access it anywhere. Tell me another benefit of a QuickBook Online plan. Something that you may have heard or you know about it. So that is one. Multiple users can access data like that. Yep, multiple users or off-site workers. So with QuickBooks Online, if you're in Jamaica, you can access it. If you're in Haiti, you can access it anywhere in the world.
You can only access.
But you can only work in US currency, but you can actually open it anywhere in the world. Huh? Go ahead. Books Online can be opened anywhere remotely. It's a remote software. So you can open it in another country.
But I can make transactions.
And you can make transactions. And you can and when you come back, everything will be just fine as if you're in America. The company has to be US based, but you can open it in another country. So remotely. And you can, that's what they mean. Offsite employment, and you can access it remotely anywhere. What's another benefit? PayPal? Why do we think PayPal is a benefit? Benefit.
Because
You don't need to install it.
on the software. They just take it.
So do you notice how you sign and you just go to QuickBooks Online and you sign in? You don't have to download and install it. So make sure in your answers, if you don't have these answers, put them in, whether you type it or you write it. Do you guys have it typed already? You know how to type inside of this. You can type
Oh,
in
well,
here.
this is a viewer.
Okay, but you
I
can,
just-
yeah, but you can actually type into this.
If you have Adobe, you have Adobe.
If you don't have, if you have Adobe, you can type
Yeah.
into it. If you don't have Adobe, just write down the answer. Jump in with that?
I think they're gonna pull that out.
Yeah. So ladies, can you type?
Yes.
Either you type it, go down here. What my cousin did when she's in her 60s, 70s, and she was doing it. She typed on the Adobe, she opened a Word document and she typed her answer. Open a Word document, you see? Make it easy for you. What you can open a Word document and just type the answer there.
No.
Okay? Everybody got that? Make sure you have a copy of the answers that I have on the screen. Yes, this is the textbook. That's the same textbook. Go back and go to that one, the textbook. That's the questions that you just answered right here. See right here? Cloud-based, remote work, advanced automation, streamless. All right, what I would do here in not PayPal and Spotify, but you say it does not need to download. As soon as integration, No need install, put this in right here, software. So you already have it on paper, you just have to modify your answers, okay? Now, let's go down to question 6. According to QuickBooks software license agreement, who are, they said what are, but I would say who are authorized users? Anybody see that definition? Make sure you know it. Can you see it better?
Yeah.
Now, so authorized users are all individuals designated or authorized to access and modify the software. So to your workplace, you may be an authorized user. Sometimes they give some people authorized access, and sometimes you don't have authorized access. It depends on the company and what. So for some of us, we only have access to put in our payroll. That means our time that we come into work and our time that we leave. But we don't have access to the rest. So authorized users are the one that are designated to access the software and modify the software. That means you work inside of the software. Everybody has that? Make sure you have that. What happens if a company allows more than the allotted numbers of users on their QBO plan? Somebody tell me what could happen if you allow more than the number of people. What could happen? Something that happens all the time nowadays. You can be charged, and there could be a breach.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with software is a breach. Everybody know that? You go, they breach. They break into this and they breach. Too many users, too many access. So it's a breach of the licensing agreement and can result in legal repercussions. So on that first part, everyone needs to learn these answers. I would say learn these answers so you know what it is. This is not inputting anything. This is just giving you the overview of the features, benefits, and licensing agreement. Now, the next thing that they covered on that video was migration to QuickBooks Online. What does the term migration mean? Anyone can tell me? Yes, a transfer, right? So migrate from one place to another, one thing to another. Some of us migrate from one country to another. It's the same kind of deal. You move it from desktop to online. Everybody got that? So that is what they're calling migrating the data, right, in this process. Now, migration of data. Let me have this young lady here read for me, please. I don't know names yet. Your name?
Diana.
Diana, go ahead and read that for me, please.
Desktop to QuickBooks Online saves time because once the integration is complete, QuickBooks Online allows users to
Reconcile.
correctly. If there is any missing data, user must add it manually.
All right. So in the process of what we call migration, when you transfer information from one place to another, sometimes information don't always come over. You know that, right? Everything is not good. So what they're telling you in the migration is that if it's not completely, all the information does not come over, you are going to have to manually input the missing data. That is a reconciliation process. So let's look at the first question. And I'm going to look at somebody else's computer. It's a true and false question. Go ahead and read for me, please. When migrating, yeah, right here.
When migrating desktop information to the online version of QuickBooks, The desktop information automatically updates to the newest version.
What do you remember hearing it? Is that true or false? Or nobody remembers? So the answer is true.
Yeah.
When migrating desktop information, it automatically updates to the newest version. So when they say automatically update, so if the newest version is QuickBook Online, it goes there. If it's QuickBook Plus, it goes there. If it's QuickBook Advanced, it goes there. But you understand that? So it updates to the newest version. Now, what are the 3 steps? And I may go and play that video again so you can hear. What are the 3 steps in migrating data to QuickBooks Online from the home page? Now, let me go to that video. I think I have it open still. Now, here's migration.
QuickBooks provides a way to migrate, or in simpler terms, move your data from the desktop version of QuickBooks to QuickBooks Online. Not everyone will need to migrate from the desktop version, but you'll want to know how to do it. Migrating your data will save you a lot of time, as you will not have to recreate the data in your new account manually. I will walk you through how you can migrate your data from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online. I will select the settings icon, it looks like a gear, and then select Import Desktop Data. Select Online Migration Tool, and then Get Started. Along the top of the screen, I will select My Files. I'll select Temporary Files. To upload the file, select Upload Files and browse for your file. I have already uploaded my file, so I will exit out and select Refresh. You should know that when you migrate your desktop information to the online version, the desktop information is automatically updated to the newest version. Let's discuss information that will not migrate. Companies that use multi-currency functions will not be able to migrate their data to QuickBooks Online. There just isn't a way to copy it at this point. Also, files with more than 350,000 transaction line items cannot be migrated, along with memorized transactions and reports. Any files that have not migrated will need to be manually added. Be sure to reconcile the accounts once the migration is complete. We can see what we imported. I'll select it and then select Continue. I will enter my password to sign in. I'll select OK. I'll select Get Started. Now we can decide if we want to export all of the data or specific data. I'll ensure all data is selected and then select Continue. We already have an account, so I will select Yes, Sign Me In, and then Continue. I'll sign into my account. The file I used to demonstrate with does not belong to our Diamond Shores company, so I will not complete this migration. If I were to complete the migration, I would select Export. The data would import, and when it was finished, we would receive an email that it was complete. I want to discuss reconciling the transfer to ensure.
All right, I'm going to stop it here, and we're going to go back to that question. If I had it opened under area. Now, right here, what are the first three steps in migrating data to QuickBooks Online from the home page? Select setting icon, go ahead. Import desktop data, okay. Upload files, okay. Anyone has any other answer? So the answers that she wrote down are correct. Everybody understood that? First, you should select the setting, then you import the desktop data, and then you select the online migration tool. Now, the next thing they talk about is information that will not migrate. What did I tell you that will not migrate? Multi-currency. Any foreign currency will not migrate. And what else won't migrate? 350,000 transaction line items. So if your company has too many line items, they won't migrate. Now, she was going on to reconciling your migrated file. How do we reconcile our migrated file? What do we compare? Yes, you compare the balance sheet and the profit and loss. Right? So you run a profit and loss report, and you also run a balance sheet report for both the online and the desktop and ensure that they match. Now, how many people know the different types of accounting they have out there? Right? What kind of accounting? They have different types of accounting. They have cash-based accounting. They have accrual accounting. They have modified cash. Only in America they have modified cash. In my country, we only have cash and accrual. But in America, they have modified cash. Yes. But which accounting should you use for the reconciliation process? Only one. Is it called the accrual? You should use the accrual. Make sure you record your answers. Now, accrual accounting is like this. Accrual accounting is when you make money every week. Sometimes you get payment, and sometimes you do not get any payment. So the part of your business where you do not get the payment when the job is completed is called accrual accounting. So what you do is you still record the business transaction as an income, but you don't record it with income. You record it with like accounts receivable or accounts payable. That's why they call it accrual accounting. So you may get the money if that person is honest and pay you. So accrual accounting it covers everything. Cash-based accounting.
You get paid on that.
Yes. Cash-based accounting, you get paid at all the time when the job is done. Accrual accounting, you record the sales, but not the actual money. You put it as accounts receivable. Clear enough, everyone? And that happens like when you have cars, you have a mechanic.
But it's also when you have customers, like I work in a tractor parts.
Mm-hmm.
Account,
Mm-hmm.
and if I like a credit, for example, when I buy a car, I don't pay in that month, but I owe them.
You owe the company.
Yeah. So for the company, is like they have the transaction of sale, but they don't have the money.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah, but it happens mostly. I mean,
it happens in a lot of business.
Yeah.
But the one of the business I know it happens in a lot is car business. When a lot of people bring their car to get repaired, the mechanic says, I'm going to collect half of the money and half of the money later. Sometimes that person who can't bring their car never pays the rest of the money. But you know that? And it happens in many, many business. Go ahead with your example.
Well, no, I was gonna say, like, so instead of sales, we have
Right?
food donations,
Mm-hmm.
so, like. Right, they've agreed to pay it, but
Mm.
sometimes their invoices are just outstanding.
Exactly.
Right.
So those are that's your kind of accrual accounting.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten the money yet.
Yep.
Everybody understand that now?
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on from there. Yes.
Take the exam. Where we do the exam?
Where do you do the exam?
Where I gonna take the exam, the QuickBook exam? Online? Where is the physical?
A physical location.
Yeah.
Now, you would not do it physical location here at Miami-Dade College.
Yeah.
You would have to go to a site. What I will do, I'll put it in the chat, the site that I found that you would have to do it. You'd have to go to a location.
Oh, I got it.
I would put
That's
the
curious
place.
because I thought it was online. Then after finish up our classes, I'm going online and pay the exam.
Not necessarily so, no.
Oh, okay.
They give you a coupon and you can go to certain exam spots and take the exam. Okay, we talk about that.
Okay.
But it's different place for different. If you live in Broward, you can go this place. If you live in Dade, you can go this place. Last year they were going to open it here on campus. I don't know if they did, so I'll have to find that out first before I say this. Now let's talk about the default user role. Now, does everybody understand default user role? What does that mean? Not just that.
I mean,
Okay,
manager-
so you have different tasks. The default user role is something that you can do
Oh, the
inside
default.
of the QuickBook.
Okay.
You can have a standard user. You can have an authorized user. You have different default user roles
Yeah.
in QuickBook. So I don't know your name, so let me have you go ahead and read. Okay, all right, you go ahead and read. Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay. Just not, yeah, we're all immigrants, so. Mhm.
Now for the username, and it has different access to the company data. For example, the report that do not have payroll or contain or contact information. That type and take payment only.
Now, that is what I was trying to say earlier to everyone. In QuickBooks, some companies let you have a QuickBooks account, and all you do is put your payroll in. Time in, time out, time in, time out. That's what some companies use before. That's for their payroll. Some companies have a user. All that person do is get the check for accounts receivable, and they post it, the payment, every time it comes in. That's all their role is. Every time the check comes in, I post it and the account. So each time in QuickBooks, you can have different roles based on what that person wants, you want that person to do in that company. So in QuickBooks, you have reports on the roles, time tracking, take payments, all different type of roles. But those three roles do not count towards the user limit. Where do you get that? So we know some accounts have 25 users. Those three won't count towards the user limit. Everybody got that? So you could have the 25 plus 3. If you have the QuickBooks Online, which is what a lot of people have, they have the QuickBooks Online, they have 5 users. You have the accountant, you have a bookkeeper, you have the owner, you may have a payroll person, right? You may have somebody who does the checks like I was telling you about, the accounts payable and accounts receivable person. But that's their role. But these people, those three, it doesn't affect your QuickBooks at all. So you can have the 5 people in addition to. Everybody got that? Everybody understand? Yes.
And how many of these each or will be multiple people within roles?
That don't count?
Yeah.
I in my knowledge base, only one person,
One
one person, right?
Okay.
So you have 5 that counts and then 3
That don't count.
that don't count. That's my knowledge, okay? Now, it could change because QuickBooks is a moving target. Go ahead.
And the people that have the access have access to all.
Yes. Those people who have the default user access can have access to everything.
Mhm.
Now, which user role can have access to everything in the company? Admin. I would say admin, right? Now, we all know it's an admin. But make sure when you select your answer, you have company admin, not just admin. Company admin. Now, we're going to look at the next 3 questions and talk about whether they're true or false. Only one user can be assigned the company admin role.
False.
That is false. And again, when you watch the video again tonight, remember we're going to have this video. You will hear. So you're going to take notes as you go along. So only one, I would say that is false. I would say that's false. Now, name 2 type of user role that counts towards QuickBooks limit. Name 2 types that counts towards the QuickBooks user limits.
The role does not have access to an account because enter invoice.
You have that one?
Yeah. I see that one too, but this one is first.
Maybe the order is different.
I see.
You have this one? No.
Don't have the, I maybe it's in a different order. Let's see. Let's look at that, and I'm going to go back to your question, okay? Now, name 2 types of user roles that counts towards the QuickBooks user limit. Somebody tell me 2 roles. Okay, standard user. You have standard user. All right, you said company admin. Both are correct. Company admin and standard user. Now, which user role allows employees to track their hours? Exactly. Time tracking only. Now, read your question, young lady. It says different. User role do not have complete access to an account. So let's look at all the other accounts. That would be a standard user. So what I would do with that question,
I have the same version of
no, everybody have the same version. But the one that I sent to you guys is the one that they gave me, right, in the software. But the one that they gave me for the teacher doesn't have that question. Everybody got that? That's a teacher version. So they made modifications. They eliminated the out of mind, but it's still the standard user. Everybody has that answer now?
Yes.
All right. Now let's move on down You don't have one, it's only one.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on to domain 1, lesson 2. Now, while I switch to domain 1, lesson 2, I am going to make sure we know this. Again, if you, when we're working with these softwares, remember, you're going to have this one with your text. And we'll just send another one. So you're going to upload chart of accounts. Be able to upload customers, vendors, because some of you, that's what you want in addition, correct? Mm-hmm. In that one, I am going to show you guys, and there's a video. Somebody already did the video. So I'm not going to do videos again for the exact same thing. The other teacher did it already. I'm not going to do a YouTube just to show you what to do when he already did. Okay? But that one you can do with his video. Now, we did domain 1 right here. We did the default user role, and we're going to go to lesson 2. Everybody's on lesson 2 on their paper? Make sure I don't. Now, make sure you're on lesson 2. I am going to go to this part here. Do you see this part here? It said lesson 1 labs. Now, if they allow me to do this, everybody can see these questions or no? Now, it says match the QuickBooks online plan to the description. Before, will match.
Sorry, I'm lost.
You're lost? Don't be lost.
I'm super lost
No, no.
every time.
Don't be lost.
Where is that?
No, that is
not.
that's not a textbook.
It's just like I'm lost.
Okay,
sorry,
now.
sorry.
I'm going to talk about them before we match them. Okay? This is the textbook version of what they give me, but they don't give that part to you. So what I want everyone to do in their notebook, how about we write this in your notebook? Advanced, self-employed, simple start, and plus. You have them already, sir? Yes, those are the 4 different kinds of plans. Oh, you check your answer? Now, what I want everyone to write down is all those 4 plans: advanced, self-employed, simple start, and plus. So when we look at an advanced, what could be an advanced plan B? Okay, so advanced plan has 25 user seats. Again, oh, it's a time test, so it will lock me out. So an advanced plan has 25 user seats. Everybody got that? And it's for large companies. So make sure you have that in your notes. Now, what is self-employed? What is a self-employed plan? The one for freelancers and the one for entrepreneurs. So that is for self-employed. What would be a simple start? Right, a simple start would include 5 users. Now they have 2 answers. Do you notice? Wait a minute. No, right. The simple start would be the same like the freelancer. Now we have a plus. The plus is a 5 user. So make sure you have those in your notes. What's your name, please? Maria. Make sure you have them. Advanced 25, 7 plus single user, simple start. User, wait, plus single user? No. Single user is simple start. Look right here. And put plus for 5. Yes, plus is 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, plus
And then simple start is single user.
What's the difference?
The simple start and the is 7 point, they're the same.
What's your set template?
Virtual is more the freelancer. Yes, but it's the same software. If you go on the real thing online, you realize it's the same. Now, so that completes the lab, as they call it here. Now, I'm not going to redo this. Now, let's go to, lesson 1. Here. Let me make sure I download the PDF and look at it. Let me go into my downloads because I'm not on my computer. All right, this is the same thing that you guys have. We just did. It is 3 o'clock at this time. I'm going to go to domain 2, where they're going to talk about managing company settings. So let's go ahead and watch this one first before we do some practical things where we practice.
Company information is basic information about your business. It is located by selecting Settings, Account and Settings, and then Company. It includes your company name, logo, company type, contact information, address, and tax information. Notice that we can change our company employer identification number, EIN. An EIN is used to identify the business to the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. Yes, business ownership changes sometimes, and this may need to be updated at some point, but this is not something you want to change frequently.
Changing your company EIN tax number can make doing your taxes a bit messy. Consult with your accountant if this needs to be changed.
Let's take a look at how to edit company information. Notice these pencil icons next to each category. Selecting the pencil icon allows us to make modifications to our information. Our address is not correct within our account. So I will select the pencil icon within the address section to edit the address. I will change the address to read 35 North Main Street. I'll select Save. I will select QuickBooks Suggestion and then select Save and then Done. Before we jump into creating transactions, invoices, and projects within QuickBooks, I want to discuss a few essential features you should understand. We'll start with the Close the Books feature. This feature is used to close an accounting period and prevent modification of transactions. And doing this prevents your books from getting messed up after an accounting period is closed. To implement the Close the Books feature, open Settings, Account and Settings, and then Advanced. Under the Accounting section, I will turn on the Close the Books function and set a closing date of December 31st. The new accounting period will include all new transactions after this date. We can choose to allow changes after the users view a warning, or to allow changes after viewing a warning and entering a password. Of course, when you are done, you will need to save the changes. I will not worry about closing the books at this point, so I will select Cancel. And then Done. We're going to discuss accounting methods. I'm going to open Settings, Account and Settings, Advanced, and then select the Accounting section to determine our accounting method. Accrual-based accounting records income and expenses as they happen. For example, if we invoice John Smith for $500 on November 1st, we would record $500 in income for November, even if we didn't receive the payment until the following month. Accrual-based accounting generally gives a company a better sense of its financial health. Most businesses use accrual accounting, whereas most individuals and small businesses use cash accounting. Why? Small businesses do not always have the cash flow to assume they have an extra $500 or however much the amount might be when they have not yet received the payment. Cash accounting is the simplest form of accounting. It records income and expenses as they are received or paid. If the money is not in their possession, it is not recorded. This method can make it hard to accurately assess the company's financial health, since upcoming bills and payments are not considered until they are processed. Both methods have pros and cons. As a business owner, you must decide which method will work best for your company. Once you have decided on your accounting method, you will need to stick with it. It does not look good to switch back and forth between methods, especially on your taxes. Doing this could appear suspicious to the IRS. I'll select Accrual and then select Save. Let's talk about how we can track our transactions. One of the most common ways to track account balances is by class. Classes can be broken down into departments, different divisions, products, or any other segments of your business. For example, Diamond Shores Construction's primary services include new builds and remodels. I could track the income and expenses for both types of divisions separately instead of tracking both types of services together. To do this, I will open Account and Settings by selecting Settings and then selecting Account and Settings. Then I will select Advanced, and under Categories, I will select Track Classes to turn it on. If you want to receive a warning when a transaction hasn't been assigned, select the Warn Me when a transaction isn't assigned a class checkbox. Below, we can assign a class to each row in a transaction or the entire transaction. Either one works. Assigning a class to each row in a transaction will be a little bit more time-consuming. Let's look at how to add a class to an invoice. Before we do that, I want to point out that we can also track by location, which is used to categorize data from multiple locations. These locations could be multiple offices across cities, states, regions, or countries. We will not use location tracking right now, but you should know that it can be turned on here. I will select Save and then Done. I will select New and then Invoice. Your invoice template may look like this, but Intuit is rolling out an update, so some of your invoices may be a little different. Since at some point everyone will be using the new template, I will switch over to the new invoice template for this course by selecting Try the New Invoices. I will assign this invoice to Jack Johnson. I'll select the Add Customer drop-down arrow. If Jack was not already added to my customer list, I could select Add New to add his contact information. Since I already have his information saved, I will exit and select Jack Johnson from my list. For the product or service, I will select hours since we are billing for labor. For the rate, I will type $20. For the quantity, I will type 80 since it took us 80 hours to complete. This amount field is totaled for us. For the description, I will type framing. Notice the class field. This field is where we can add this transaction to a class we can track. I will select the class drop-down arrow and then select Add New. I will name this class New Build. Then I will select Save. We can see that the class has been added. The New Build class will be available in the class drop-down menu going forward. I will select Save and Close. We're also able to track different job details by creating a project. Projects can be used to track your income, material costs, and labor expenses. I will select Business Overview from the navigation bar, and then Projects. I'll select Start a Project, and then name the project Bathroom Remodel. For the customer, I will select Add New. Add the name Ted Turner, and then select Save. I will add the project's start and end dates. For the start date, I will select March 2nd. For the end date, I will select April 3rd. Then I will save this project. As we add income and expenses to this project, we will see the income, cost, and profit numbers change accordingly. Let's look at how to add an expense to a project. I will select New, and then Expense. For the payee, I will add Paul's Plumbing since we had to contract a plumber to help with this remodel. I'll select Add New. For the display name, I will type Paul's Plumbing. For the email, I will type paulsplumbing@email.com. Then I will select Save. For the payment account, I will add Visa. And for the payment method, I'll add Visa. For the category, I'll select Contract Labor. For the description, I'll type Plumbing. The amount is $250. I'll add the bathroom remodel project as the customer. And notice that there is an option to add a class to this invoice. I will add the remodel class. I will save this expense by selecting Save and Close. Income is added similarly. I will select New and then Invoice. Notice that I can select the customer drop-down arrow and add the bathroom remodel project. I will invoice Ted for the cost of his bathroom cabinet. For the product, I will select Add New. I will select Product. For the name, I will type Bathroom Cabinet. For the sales price, I will type $500 as a flat rate. And then select Save. Let's add a description. I will type Bathroom Cabinet. I'll add the remodel class and select Save and Close. Automated workflows can increase efficiency by eliminating tasks that usually need to be done manually. Let's cover a few of the automated workflows you can set up. First is the Pay Vendor Reminder workflow. This workflow will remind you when a vendor bill is due so that you can pay it. Next is the Payment Received workflow. This workflow will send your customers an email informing them that you have received their payment. Next is the Payment Due Reminder workflow. This workflow lets your customers know when their payment is due. Next is the Overdue Invoice Memo workflow. This workflow allows you to add a memo to late invoices. Next is the Bank Deposits Reminder workflow. This workflow will remind you to record bank deposits so your bookkeeping stays current. Next is the Automatically Send Unsent Invoices workflow. If you forget to send an invoice, QuickBooks would automatically email the unsent invoices for you with this workflow. Finally, we have the Unsent Invoices Reminder workflow. This workflow will remind you about your unsent invoices so you can send them out yourself. These are set up by creating conditions and actions. The action will occur if a payment is due in 2 days, or however many days you choose for your condition. An email is sent to the customer to remind them of their payment.
Now, we're going to go over a little. I want everyone to open their QuickBooks Online. If you can get into your QuickBooks Online, and we're going to practice a little bit. Editing the company information, close the book feature, and get a little familiar with that. If you cannot get in, it's okay. Let me know if everyone can get in. Everybody else is in? You're in your QuickBooks? All right. What I'm going to do, I only know one person that can't get in right now. I am going to see if I can send her another company and see if that will help her to get in. You're in? It was working. Now, the first thing I want everyone to do is go to their setting. When you see the setting, we're going to go to the company information and try to edit the company information. We're going to do exactly what I did on the video. All right, so the company you have is Spring 25 Dean Construction Company. Everybody found that? All right. Go ahead and move the name Dean, right? Take out the name Dean and put your first name. If your first, yes, put your first name there. Huh? And then when you go to setting, go to company. When you click setting, then you go to company. And setting. Go to account and setting. Account and setting. And then you're going to edit it and change it from Spring 25 Dean and take out the word name Dean and put your name. If your name is John, you put John. If your name is Kathy, you put Kathy. If your name is Caroline, you put Caroline. And you click save. Yeah, you got to save it, Roosevelt. Because that's how I'm going to know what you did in the classroom. so that all the deans will be me. But everybody's first name will be their company. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Now, so all of us know how to edit. Now, let's go back to the word name, the word setting. And now we're going to look at close the book feature. Click setting. And in this one, we have to play around with it a little bit. Go back to accounting setting first. You can see company usage. Advanced, yes, go down to advanced. Up a little bit. So under the word accounting, you see close the book. Everybody find close the book? Mm-hmm. Now, for this, you can put the, if you put a prior date, like December 31st, 2025, every time you go in, you're going to have to get approval. Everybody got that? But at least we know where close the book is. Yeah, most is closed in December. Most. No, but if you put December, you are every time you go in, you're gonna have to keep changing and changing and changing. You can put December 31st, 2025. Where you can put it? And then we see what happens. But you can always change it. Put December 31st, 2025. If you did for June.
So we start July 1st and we end.
Right, but if you do it that way, when you're doing transaction as we go throughout the course, it's gonna ask you to give permission.
Even if my
right now, if you do it for the one we have in class, but if you're doing it for the one at work, you already did it already, right?
Yeah. So for here, I haven't done it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first month of the fiscal year would be January.
Right.
So the closing date would be December
31st, 2026. Everybody got a chance to play around with close the book feature? Chance to get in. All right, let's someone turn around and see what where he's at. You can save it, and we're gonna go through it. So everybody is at close the book feature. (31st, 2025). So when you put that in, it may give you a little drop down. Do you see 2 questions to answer? Do it with a password or not with a password?
No.
Right, allow changes after viewing one, and then there's another one below it.
Yes, allow changes after.
Right, a warning and password.
Yes.
I just use the one with a warning. I don't do the warning and password. Yes, the first one.
Let's say.
And save. Yes, you can do that. So you're in?
Yeah.
All right, so everybody's in. Now, we already talked about the cash and accrual methods of accounting. In QuickBooks, it defaults to the accrual method of accounting, so you don't have to change that. Now, let's talk about class tracking. We're going to talk a little bit about class tracking. What do you think class tracking means? Anyone have an idea what we call class tracking?
It's another your identifier for the.
Transactions.
All right. So let's talk about class tracking. How many of you in this room go to a church, an assembly, some place of worship? Anybody go to somewhere you worship somebody, worship a God, worship something? Ah, you don't, that's fine. We'll talk about it outside of that. Now, when many of us go to church, right? And I go to church, so I can talk about church a little bit. When you go to church, you have different groups in a church. So in a church, you have different groups of people. You have women, you have men, you have children. Everybody got that? So many times, all the women meet together and call themselves a women's department. So that could be a women's department. When they have the women's department at their church, they do their own fundraising. They have the women's services, all this thing, right? Everybody got that? The men have the same thing. The men says we have a men's department. And they do their fundraising for the men's fellowship, for the fishing trip, for the we want the men to bond together trip. Everybody understand that? So in QuickBook, you can say from the women's church, I want to see how much money they brought in. For I want to see how much men's department brought in. For the singles ministry, they have that in churches too. I want to see how many the singles ministry bring in. Everybody got that? For the children, how much do the children festival bring in? Now, do you understand those different classes? So the women's department is a class. The men's department is a class. The single ministry is a class. The children's function, whatever they do, or the children's, let me see, summer party can also be a class. So each one of those groups can be a class. Could be similar title, could be exact title. But the class allows you to run the report on the class. So you can see everything the women's ministry did.
Right.
You can be able to tell which group that did what.
Because you could, so like if you had a class, like an account that was income, you would have an income account and an expense account with this.
For the same class. All right. You can do that. Now, here's another thing for classes. People know about construction. We know about construction. A construction company can do 10 houses. Everybody know that? 15 houses. Real estate, the same thing. They can divide them into projects or into classes. So they can say, okay, I'm doing a project. I have John house, Margaret house, Tom house, and they can divide it like that. And then they can further break it down into new construction, old construction, like they're just new construction or repair. It's different classes. What do you see what I'm saying? Each class can have its own thing.
But you could also have like
Go ahead.
just say you have a scholarship.
Yeah.
account,
Mhm.
Right, and you had multiple sub-accounts, individual scholarships that. Right, so there's like a general scholarship account, and then there's like the Tracy Jean scholarship, the City of Miami scholarship, right? But then they would all belong to the same class of scholarships. Or would you make a class for every individual scholarship? Because every individual scholarship would also have income and expense as their.
Okay, let's talk about scholarships because I was a financial aid person, right? That's what I did for my first 10 years of my life in America. Now, in financial aid, you could have classes. You could have state scholarships, money that come from the state, money that come from the federal, right? And you could have private. That I would put as a class. Under each state scholarship, you could have Bright Futures, you could have Florida Student Assistant Grant. You see what I'm going? Topics, those are my bigger class. Now, if I'm running a
But your class would be scholarship?
State scholarship,
Okay.
I would call it state because you can have 6 different state scholarships.
So that's almost like, because the account would be, the primary account would be scholarships, then you would have a sub-account, and then even like a sub-account within your sub-account.
You can have sub-accounts within the sub-accounts, definitely.
But the thing that connects them is a class,
It's a class.
which would either be state, or if it falls outside of that, it could just be under the regular scholarships.
Right. And we should be able to touch on that when we go into QuickBooks so that when we set it up, we can see. For example, here's another thing that they may run classes on. Everybody knows there's a McDonald's everywhere, right? You have some projects or some food that you only see them at certain times of the year. How do you think that they run the profits on that? They say, oh, I am selling Coca-Cola Summer. And if Coca-Cola Summer does well, I will continue only during summer. That's how they know the profits on that Coca-Cola Summer.
But that's based on an account or on a
They
class?
they put it by a class.
But why not, why not do it by both?
They could do it on a project. They can do it on a class.
No, but I'm saying like for.
What?
So project and, because I'm thinking of right, when we were filling out that form, right? Then the description, and then, the rate, and then the class, right? The project is a different thing, is a separate thing entirely.
Right. They can you can run things on the projects and you can run things on the class.
But they serve the same function.
They sometimes within the project, you can have different classes. So we can go over that. I believe that they went over that in this video. I'm not remembering if she explained that well in this video, but I'm sure when she does the example, you will see it. Now let me go back to here. I'm not remembering if she did it because there's 3 different groups of videos. Yes. What?
No.
Yogurt?
Close with each other, but different.
Right. Those will be different projects.
Can I have? Because I can use like one software. I can pay for one software and use it for the 3.
Oh, you're talking about, yes, you could buy one QuickBooks software and use it for all 3. Oh, okay.
Location, or it's not possible.
Yes, you can use. Are you talking about the user part of the software where I can buy one QuickBooks software?
If I change the class, classify the store.
Wait, are you saying like, can you put 3 stores in one QuickBooks?
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's different class, but it's the same product, it's the same owner, it's the same.
Yes. Yes.
But that is allowed.
You're allowed. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If that's the question, yes. You can have multiple companies as long as it belongs to that main company, bill. And it's the same name.
Yeah, like using the address of the different store.
Yes, you can separate it.
Did you could, but it would be, you could do it with the class, you could also do it with the account
And with the project, yeah.
and with the class.
Now, so let's go over right here. Bank has several branches, yes. Just like you have several McDonald's and you have several Dutch pots, restaurants. Yeah, you can run them in one big account, but you have each bank listed, whether it's Wells Fargo on Miami Drive, Wells Fargo on Ponciana Drive, all of them can be listed.
Would they just be? And that's how you should, like, you.
Right, you could do them as project. So let's go over class right here.
Let's
me
talk
look at this
about
part.
how we can track our transactions. One of the most common ways to track account balances is by class. Classes can be broken down into departments, different divisions, products, or any other segments of your business. For example, Diamond Shores Construction's primary services include new builds and remodels. I could track the income and expenses for both types of divisions separately instead of tracking both types of services together.
Everybody, you see what she's saying? Look at what she has right there. So classes can be departments, like I was saying for churches, divisions, products, or any other business segment. Go ahead.
Let's just say, you have accounts within the community. So
The foundation manages accounts within the community.
correct. So they're not necessarily running it, but they're doing all the financial, like they're not running the day-to-days of the business.
Right.
Or the entity, let's just call it, you know, for the sake of their
Mhm.
own profit. But they are, but all the money coming in and all the money going out is managed by the foundation.
So the foundation manages for different communities. So
Right.
maybe
it could be like 100 different entities within a community. Let's just say their department, you know what I mean? Like, I guess they could be, they're not necessarily, they don't have any connection to each other than they're all the money just goes to the foundation.
okay.
So would that be the equivalent where like every entity would be either, like would be a class of its own?
Every entity could be a class, but I don't see, I mean, if you have 50 different companies, will you want to create 50 different classes?
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a lot of classes.
But none of the companies overlap. They're all different and they're all like have different purposes. So none of the things within the company, like we're not necessarily billing, we're only like
Receiving money.
I mean, I guess we technically could bill, but we're also like taking in donations.
You're taking donations for
We're
everybody.
paying for events that these different entities are putting on, right?
Mhm.
We're just managing the money.
I understand.
So could that be like
You could create classes for that if you need to create classes for that.
because you would need to run reports.
Right, because what if that one company that you're working for wanted a separate report to see how much did I bring in, how much did you spend? Yes, you could run a class for that. Make sense, everybody? So if we look at Diamond Shores Company, Diamond Shores, they have the new builds. That means new buildings that they bring in. Then they just have the income and the expenses for that. They could have what they call remodels. Everyone know what remodels is, right? They buy a house that, renovation, yes. They buy a house that was built like in 1930 and they upgrade it and they remodel it. Everybody got that? So in the remodel, they say, okay, how much money I'm making for my remodel? How much money how much expense do I have for my remodels? Right?
But you could also break it down by like you would even have remodel and then you could break it down by individual.
Exactly, individual projects.
Project.
Yes,
So let's say you have like Tracy Jean, Katie, Diana.
right,
So you would have, and then you could have income and expense for each sub account.
that you can.
Sorry, I mean would it be a subclass?
You could have you could have in different classes, and you can have different projects, right? So here, this is the way they're doing it for the construction company that we have, and you can do this for different groups. Some of you may have different churches. You have one big group, one big church, but you have a church on Miami-Dade College. Yeah, just set up Miami-Dade College. We have a North Campus, we have a South Campus. So Miami-Dade College would have what? One big Miami-Dade College. They don't use QuickBooks, but they use something similar. Then they have to say MDC North, MDC South, MDC West. Then they have centers. So they could break it down further like that. How much money does that center bring in? How much money does that North bring in?
So the first part is the category.
Is a category. Right. These are the classes. Everybody got that?
Wait, so the new business builds and remodels
Mhm.
classes or not classes?
Right. These are classes.
Classes.
New build is a class, and remodel can be a class. All right. Now let's continue on this.
To do this, I will open Account and Settings by selecting Settings
Look at what she's doing.
and then selecting Account and Settings. Then I will select Advanced, and under Categories, I will select Track Classes to turn it on. If you want to receive a warning when a transaction hasn't been assigned, select the Warn Me when a transaction isn't assigned a class checkbox.
All right. I want everyone to go into their QuickBooks and do that. Everybody saw what she did? Do we need to play it again? All right, I can play it again. Let's go back a little bit. We're going to go in and update our classes. Everybody ready?
To do this, I will open Account and Settings by selecting Settings.
All right, everybody select settings. All right, let's go on.
And then selecting Account and Settings.
All right, account and settings. Everybody select. Let's go to the next step.
Then I will select Advanced. And
All right, advanced. I'm stopping at each interval. Everybody got it? All right, let's continue.
under Categories, I will select Track Classes to turn.
Go to categories and then click track classes and turn that on. Some QuickBooks gives us do classes.
But not everyone.
Not everyone.
What about
For my daddy, he never did. He doesn't do classes. He just whatever go out. QuickBooks sets up. You should be able to do classes in there
The same way.
the same way.
Okay.
what
Cut.
about-
Go ahead. Yes.
what about-
Yes, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh,
So you see categories at track classes. I want you to turn on the track classes
Yeah, sorry.
and click save. So you notice that they put it by classes and they also put it by locations. Now let's continue.
Turn it on. If you want to receive a warning when a transaction hasn't been assigned, select the Warn Me when a transaction isn't assigned a class checkbox. Below, we can assign a class to each row in a transaction or the entire transaction. Either one works. Assigning a class to each row in a transaction will be a little bit more time-consuming. Let's look at how to add a class to an invoice. Before we do that, I want to point out that we can also track by location, which is used to categorize data from multiple locations. These locations could be multiple offices across cities, states, regions, or countries. We will not use location tracking right now, but you should know that it can be turned on here. I will select Save and then Done. I will select New and then Invoice. Your invoice template may look like this, but Intuit is rolling out an update, so some of your invoices may be a little different. Since at some point everyone will be using the new template, I will switch over to the new invoice template for this course by selecting Try the New Invoices. I will assign this invoice to Jack Johnson. I'll select the Add Customer drop-down arrow. If Jack was not already added to my customer list, I could select Add New to add his contact information. Since I already have his information saved, I will exit and select Jack Johnson from my list. For the product or service, I will select hours since we are billing for labor. For the rate, I will type $20. For the quantity, I will type 80 since it took us 80 hours to complete. This amount field is totaled for us. For the description, I will type framing. Notice the class field. This field is where we can add this transaction to a class we can track. I will select the class drop-down arrow and then select Add New. I will name this class New Build. Then I will select Save. We can see that the class has been added. The New Build class will be available in the class drop-down menu going forward. I will select Save and Close. We're also able to track different job details by creating a project. Projects can be used to track your income, material costs, and labor expenses. I will select Business Overview from the navigation bar, and then Projects. I'll select Start a Project, and then name the project Bathroom Remodel. For the customer, I will select Add New. Add the name Ted Turner, and then select Save. I will add the project's start and end dates. For the start date, I will select March 2nd. For the end date, I will select April 3rd. Then I will save this project. As we add income and expenses to this project, we will see the income, cost, and profit numbers change accordingly. Let's look at how to add an expense to a project. I will select New, and then Expense. For the payee, I will add Paul's Plumbing since we had to contract a plumber to help with this remodel. I'll select Add New. For the display name, I will type Paul's Plumbing. For the email, I will type paulsplumbing@email.com. Then I will select Save. For the payment account, I will add Visa. And for the payment method, I'll add Visa. For the category, I'll select Contract Labor. For the description, I'll type Plumbing. The amount is $250. I'll add the bathroom remodel project as the customer. And notice that there is an option to add a class to this invoice. I will add the remodel class. I will save this expense by selecting Save and Close. Income is added similarly. I will select New and then Invoice. Notice that I can select the customer drop-down arrow and add the bathroom remodel project. I will invoice Ted for the cost of his bathroom cabinet. For the product, I will select Add New. I will select Product. For the name, I will type Bathroom Cabinet. For the sales price, I will type $500 as a flat rate. And then select Save. Let's add a description. I will type Bathroom Cabinet. I'll add the remodel class and select Save and Close. Automated workflows can increase efficiency.
Now, did everybody see how they do the class, how they were tracking the income for the class and tracking the expenses for the class? Now, I am going to open Intuit for Education. Let me hope I get in on this side. I can get in on one area here. But let me see if I can get it on this one. And then there it is. This is the class. Go ahead and log in. And each one of you, you're going to have access to this that I have in Google Classroom. Again, where we everybody? Where we going? Google Classroom. You'll have access to this in your Google Classroom. Sure I did. But I'm sure you're going to have access to it. Because this is the one, right? This is the one that the company itself created. The company who writes the exam created this one. Why? I'm getting on the Miami on the other side. See if I can get in. Change the number. See if there's something I'm missing. So let me see if I can get in this code because I want it from here because I want you to practice these two. I want you to be able to practice this. Let me see if this works. See, I'm in there. Give me a minute, everyone. All right, so that is loading. It's taking a little while. But while that is going on, I'm going to go ahead and add you guys to that classroom while that is loading. I believe I have everyone's email, correct? I believe I have everyone's email. Still loading. They're still loading. Jeez. Let me refresh one more time and see if it works. There it is. Now, this is Intuit for Education. I'm not sure if they have updated it where students can get their own sign-in. That one? You already have it? It's good. You can ask questions. I am trying to move this out of the way and do a search. If I don't allow me one way, I try and find it another. Yeah. Here's the other one. See this Intuit one here? This is created by the company itself. So one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to see if you guys can access it. Okay? It's fairly new, but if you guys can access it, screen well, I tell you, only in America. All right, let's see if it's on for you guys. All right. It's coming up on my side. Just give it a minute. On this, you will see, on this, you will, they have it this in this order: managing list, chart of accounts, classes, projects, etc. And I'm hoping it comes up on your side. Still not up on my they call it screen. All right. You know, say? Yeah, but that's not my screen.
Maybe unplug and replug.
You see, that's not my screen. So what I'm going to do, everyone come, let me just give you access to the Google Classroom. This is why I do workarounds. Go on, come. Oh. No, you don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna make sure I add you and you tell me if you're in. No, I do workarounds. Only because when we come here, I think I am more effective teaching it online than in here. Oh, drives me nuts, but
I know I voted for in person, but I'm happy to switch to.
Yeah, because you see, on when you come here, internet not working. This, what is this?
But I know sometimes like it could be really nice for those who need to.
Yeah. No. I understand. People need it on in person. But what I'm going to do is just add you guys so you have access while I'm talking. You can see. Did everybody get that?
Mhm.
But you all have your computers. I can't keep up. And it's after the hour. When I say after the hour, the system is kind of set to say after 12 o'clock, there's no students on campus. There's no staff on campus. So
The bathrooms are locked.
everything is, yeah. All right, let me go here. I know I have it for, where did I say I was going to put everybody? I want to put you guys under this one called Tad Gaming. Now, make sure I can add people. Now, student.
Add student.
I'm going to add student. Students, come and double check. What is your,
Catherine K.A.
this is my workaround for everybody.
T.H.
K-A-T-H
E.R.I.N.E.
E-R-I-N-E
L.E.
L-E
P.R.I.
P-R-I
R. At Gmail.
at gmail.com.
Correct. I'll let you know if I got it.
All right. It is, your name is selected. I did an invite. Now, let me do the next person.
I just got it.
All right. Let me do the next person. Who is right behind me?
Oh, June.
Huh?
June. Oh, type name first or email?
Email.
June, June.
June.
Oh, that
Uh-huh.
Belllu.
Huh?
That Bellu
Bellu
at yahoo.com.
at yahoo.com.
Yes.
All right. So let me get the next student.